Namaskar friends, I welcome you all to the digital channel of Uday India. Friends, today in the age of new India, in the field of defense production, India is marching ahead with flying colors and talk of the town is India's growing defense prowess. And to safeguard the security of our nation, India is all set to become an Atmanirbhar Bharat. And I must tell you that in the field of defense research and technological innovations, India is really emerging as a fast growing nation and is now ready for defense exports. And I must tell you that in this growth of defense production in India, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, which is known as HAL, has played a major role in fulfilling the dream of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That's why I am feeling happy, I am feeling proud that today we have with us Mr. Sri Anand Krishnan Sahab, who is the chairman of HAL. Anand Krishnan Sahab, welcome you to the Uday India Digital Media.
Good afternoon, namaskar. Deepak ji, it is really, I am privileged to be there today as part of your program, and we'll be interacting in the next few minutes about the HAL's performance and prospects.
Yes, of course, and I must inform our viewers that this is second time that we are speaking to the chairman of HAL, and it is the same, our favorite leader of HAL, Mr. Anand Krishnan Sahab. Anand Krishnan Sahab, first of all, I must congratulate you that Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi mentioned and discussed in detail in the August House of Parliament about HAL.
हेलीकॉप्टर बनाने वाली सरकारी कंपनी HAL, ये HAL को लेकर के कितनी भली बुरी बातें इन्होंने करी थी। क्या कुछ नहीं कहा गया था HAL के लिए? HAL डूब रहा है। देश की इतनी महत्वपूर्ण इंस्टीट्यूट को इतना बुरा चाहा, इतना बुरा कहा, वो सीक्रेट आज HAL सफलता की नई बुलंदियों को छू रहा है। HAL ने अपना हाईएस्ट एवर हाईएस्ट रेवेन्यू रजिस्टर किया है।
And he expressed his concern that what was the sorry state of affairs going on at HAL, and there were lots of agitation and lots of problems. The staffs were thinking that HAL may face very huge problem, but Prime Minister himself expressed with happiness that now things have been changed and HAL is in a different track all the way. And I must ask you, what was the reason that HAL was facing such sorry state of affairs and how things changed after 2014? Mr. Anand Krishnan Sahab.
Yeah, thank you. There cannot be a big moment for HAL than the Honorable Prime Minister praising HAL in the floor of the House. In fact, it has been one of the most motivating factors for HAL, and all our employees and officers and the entire HAL family is so much motivated today to do much better after hearing the appreciation from the Honorable Prime Minister. In fact, the last 10 years has been very eventful. The HAL has been, earlier we had more of licensed product and less of our own indigenously designed and developed products. But today, with the focus on Atmanirbhar Bharat and self-reliance, HAL started investing more and more money into the R&D, and today we have got a range of indigenously designed and developed products. We did have problems during 4 to 5 years back on cash flow related issues, But that was only a temporary phase. It was not a major problem sort of thing. We could have anyhow come out of that. And today, with the initiative from the government and the Ministry of Defense, we have been getting lot of benefits under the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Since we have got a range of our own products, the customers are also quite impressed with our product, and we have been consistently performing and also been retaining the confidence of all our defense customers, and with the Honorable Prime Minister and the Defense Minister as well. So that would mean a lot to HAL. Because of the confidence they have in HAL, we will continue to perform better, and that is reflected in the performance of HAL during the last few years, 4 to 5 years, when we got listed in 2018. Between 2018 and 2023, there has been lot of changes and lot of improvements in HAL, and that is reflected in the investors' confidence as well, which is reflected in the market capitalization. So all in all, it has been a very, very promising journey for HAL and during the last 5 years. And from where we had the initial problems, we have now transformed into a complete company, which can be a value company for all the stakeholders.
Anant Krishnan Saab, I must, in fact, the country must send you kudos, because I am following your visits, official visits, since last 6-7 months. You are traveling too much, one leg in Bangalore, another leg in Delhi, and you are always traveling with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. You are traveling with Honorable Raksha Mantri Sri Rajnath Singh ji. Lots of engagements of HAL with different companies, private sectors. So how do you really feel, and how do you manage to do that with all sort of hectic schedules?
No, I really enjoy the sort of growth which is happening to HAL. Even though it has been a little bit of more traveling which I have to do, but at the end of the day, to be there, something good happening for the country, and to bring the technology and the foreign partnership within to the country, that is the more satisfying moment for me. So I really do not mind about traveling or my difficulties, because they are nothing before the satisfaction which we get when the country is going to become self-reliant in defense, aerospace and defense one day. That is the motivating factor for me.
Correct. As Anant Krishnan Saab has told, that this is also the culture and philosophy of India, that work is good. And you rightly said that when India is marching ahead, India is progressing, no man hesitates to do more work or work for the country, or to increase the defense production of India. And Mr. Anant Krishnan Sahab, I have second question for you, that can you provide an overview of the HAL's most significant achievements and milestones in the aerospace and in defense industry over the past decade? Significant achievements.
Yeah, I can say in the last 1 decade, HAL has come out with more and more of our own indigenous platforms, indigenous aircrafts and helicopters. Earlier, we had only the advanced light helicopter in our kitty, and today we have got a range of aircraft, starting from the Hindustan Turbo Trainer, which is to be used for training for the rookie pilots, and then we have fighter segment LCA Tejas, which has come successfully, LCA Mark 1, and then now we graduated to Mark 1A. And again, in the helicopters, we have got the light combat helicopter Prachand, which has been inducted into the Indian Air Force and which has been fully developed now. And similarly, light utility helicopters, again, it has been it's going to get proved, and we will be supplying to the defense forces. And apart from that, we have also been in a big way doing the indigenization, to see that the positive indigenization list which has now been promulgated, that is another big sort of a milestone for HAL. almost 5 positive indigenization lists, so that it increases the scope of HAL for doing indigenization, not only have our own platforms and helicopters and aircraft, but also in terms of your various accessories and avionics and LRUs, line replaceable units, as we call it, systems. So all this, there is a possibility of more of indigenization. So the thrust is on indigenization. We have got a range of our own products. That is the second thing. And the third one is that we also became a listed company, where the public also started participating in investing in HAL's growth story. And when we listed, what we were at around 40,000 crores of market capitalization in 2018. Today, our market capitalization stands at a whopping 1,30,000 crores. We have grown almost threefold in the last 4 to 5 years. So that is another significant achievement which we have done, and we have been achieving year on year in the last 5 years continuously. We have been achieving record sales, and last year in 31st March 2023, we have again touched a record sales turnover, and that is another of around 26,500 crores, and with a profit of 6,000 crore plus. Yes. That is another major, which has also been appreciated by the Honorable Prime Minister through a tweet, and the Honorable Defence Minister. So all this would mean that HAL has been progressing continuously during the last 10 years. And today, especially during the last 5 years, the sort of advancements which we had made is very significant. And today we stand at a very comfortable place in the aerospace and defence industry in the country.
Right. Very rightly, you mentioned that India is going ahead with indigenous technology, and HAL has been instrumental and played a big role. Anantha now, HAL has played a pivotal role in the development and production of indigenous aircraft, as you told, like Tejas, and helicopters like Dhruv. Can you elaborate on how these projects have contributed to strengthening India's self-reliance in defense? Can you explain that?
Yeah. See, it is very, very critical for the country, India as a country, to become self-reliant in our defense requirements. Our dependability on the foreign OEMs, foreign original equipment manufacturers, or on the foreign suppliers should slowly come down, so that from a net importer, we should become a net exporter. And today we are progressing towards that sooner or later India will start exporting our platforms after meeting the requirements of our own defense forces, and after providing complete self-reliance to our own defense forces. And this what is very critical is that we have realized why this self-reliance is becoming very critical during the COVID pandemic time, and subsequently during the geopolitical situation, when the supply chain from the foreign countries have all been disrupted, and we did have sufficient inventory to rather come out of that crisis. But otherwise, the supply chain disruptions would have become very, very critical for the country's fleet serviceability. So today, since we have realized that this issue is going to play a big thing in the future, if this sort of uncertainties come, we have started looking at ourselves and started indigenizing it, so that in the long run, in the next few years, 5 years, 10-year time frame, we will be completely developing a domestic supply chain which is capable of taking care of our Indian requirement. We will develop a complete ecosystem. It is not only HAL will be there in the forefront, but there will also be a defense industry ecosystem which will be developed within the country, and that will be very critical to become self-reliant and ensure that our supply chain disruptions do not happen. And also, in terms of the long-term life cycle, because any product in our industry, aerospace industry, for an aircraft, once it is sold, it will take 30 to 40 years. We will have to support that aircraft. So that support also will become much more stronger. Maintainability issues will become easier, and there will be a very drastic reduction in cost. So all in all, during the life cycle of the entire product, the dependability for the product's serviceability will keep improving, and that is where we should focus on, and that is what HAL's objective is.
Yeah, Anantha Sahab, as you told that it takes lots of one needs to take lots of pain, because when we also have bought many planes from Russia or other countries, we need for their maintenance, we need to bring all the engineers and to India, and it is also very much expensive, and the same situation will arise before India also, when you are also going to sell the aeroplanes. So are we really ready for that, and can India is in a stage to do that?
Yeah, we are now today, we understand the global aerospace market in a much better way than what we used to be in the past. We know that for us to be competitive in the industry, in the global aerospace market, it is the two things are very critical. One is the quality of the product and its functionalities. The second one is that its cost competitiveness. So we are focusing on these both issues. We wanted to give a good quality product with more improved functionalities, which are customized to the country to which we are planning to sell. Besides, we will also be offering them a very cost competitive product. The third strategy which we are also adopting to attract the global market is that we would try to develop the local industry ecosystem also. The way we are expecting that we will also develop the local industry ecosystem, so that the aircraft maintainability for them also, it will become more easier and convenient. While the support system will be extended from India, the local industry will take care of the fleet. So this is something, the third marketing strategy which we are trying to adopt and we are trying to place.
I think this is a new strategy you are adopting. Earlier it was not.
Yeah, it is something which we have realized now. Every other country would like to have such local industry being developed. So once we have understood, now we felt it is important for us also to use this as a good marketing initiative, so that the other countries also will get attracted towards our products, which otherwise are globally comparable with the best of the aircrafts and best of the helicopters.
Very true, very true. Anand Kishan Saab, now HAL has ventured into the field of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs. What are some notable UAV projects undertaken by HAL, and how do they align with India's defense requirements?
Yeah, we understood that the future warfare is going to be a combination of manned and unmanned. So we have also started our sort of an R&D towards these manned and unmanned combinations, and we have got the rotary wing RUAV, which is a rotary combat vehicle, which will be available, for which we are in the development stage, which will also be used by armed forces in the high altitude, where they will have to for transport the men and materials over there. So that will be one thing which we are focusing on. And besides, as you are aware, there is a CATS program, that is a combat air teaming system, which is a combination of manned and unmanned systems, where we will be operating. It will be a sort of mothership will be there within the country. Mother aircraft will be there within the country, and then we will operate the unmanned aircraft into the enemy's territory, and which will all be controlled from our territory. So this is also something which we are developing. So we also understand, and we will be focusing on these R&D programs in the years to come.
Very good. Another question, Saab, now I want to know that how has HAL been involved in the, you mentioned earlier also, but again I am asking, in the maintenance, repair and overall MRO services for various aircraft and helicopters? In detail,
MRO, yes. Yeah, maintenance and repair and overall is very, very critical for the maintenance, serviceability of the fleets and maintainability of fleets. It is not sufficient if you just manufacture and deliver an aircraft, but the after sale support and after the support mechanism, because each aircraft, as I have already indicated, an aircraft, if it is sold, we have to be there in the business for the next 40 years to see that the aircraft is supported. In fact, HAL has got a very good legacy for supporting these older fleets as well. And we have gained this experience on maintenance and repair and overall for the last 6 to 7 decades, which stands us in good state, and we continue to support even some of the older fleets like Jaguar and Mix series, which has otherwise not been operating elsewhere. We have been supporting that because of our in-house capabilities. So this is very critical, and we are also strengthening our MRO activities. to see that the future, whatever the aircrafts are getting delivered today, will also be supported in similar way, and for which we are entering into certain long-term business agreements with many of the foreign OEMs where we need to source certain of these items. We are also trying to focus on indigenization of many of these items within the country, so that it will also help us. The supply chain will become more robust and will become self-independent of the dependency with the foreign suppliers. So with all these things and with our expansion plans which are in the anvil, we have come out, for instance, when helicopters we have sold quite number. We had an helicopter MRO division, separate MRO division being developed to see that the support is well maintained. We have already got a fixed overall, overall division in Bangalore to support the aircraft which are of European origin. Similarly, we have got an MRO division, separate division to support the Russian-made aircrafts in Nasik, and engine divisions are also there. Repair and overhaul divisions are also there to support the engines and accessories. So we have got a complete setup of infrastructure all over the country for the different elements of the aircraft to support after the manufacture and deliver of the aircraft. And this we will be continuing. As you could see, the last 2-3 years, our major portion of revenue has also been coming from the repair and overhaul activity.
Good. So you feel that it would have no impact on the ecosystem of the defense, this MRO?
No, MRO definitely, because now with the more and more of Indian fleets, Indian aircrafts being supplied to the defense forces, these all will come back for MRO requirements in future. And so for which we need to start working, prepare ourselves along with not only with HAL, we will also trying to outsource many of our activities which could be outsourced, retaining the core activities and to outsource certain of the activities to the private industry, so that the MRO ecosystem also will continuously keep developing along with the manufacturing ecosystem. So because MRO, as I have indicated, as I have told you earlier, MRO contributes a major support system for the new aircrafts which are getting delivered, and the arisings which will happen in future, we need to be prepared for them.
Correct. Another question, now going further, that the aerospace industry is rapidly evolving with advancements in technology. So how is HAL adapting to these changes, particularly in the context of digitalization, automation, etc.?
Yeah, as you know that we are having the new factories which are also coming up. All the new factories, like recent one is the Tumkuru, which we have inaugurated, which was inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister. So there we are making it, the industry, the factory itself, we are preparing the factory for adopting the Industry 4 requirements. So it has been designed like that, and we will be in a position to fully do that Industry 4 requirement. We will be able to adopt that. And digitization, we have started getting into digitization of the maintainability of these aircraft. We wanted to have this health monitoring systems and other systems, which is all to be digitalized, so that the seamless flow of information will be there. We are also wanting to use the AI, artificial intelligence, in the certain of our fleet maintainability. And apart from that, we are continuously, as the future warfare, wherever it is required, we also wanted to adopt certain advanced technologies, which we are already discussing with some of the foreign partners, to see that our future programs will get a major portion of this new advanced technologies into that. And I think we are fully aware, and we are fully preparing ourselves to see that these technologies are getting integrated with our existing technologies. In fact, we are trying to upgrade some of our older divisions as well with the new technologies, so that there will be some seamless flow of activities which will happen.
Correct. Very good. That's a great news for our country, in fact. So now let us go to the different sections. That, as you know, the collaboration with General Electric for GE engines in India by HAL is only for manufacturing. But can you tell me, when will India develop its indigenous technology for aero engines?
Yeah. See, this aero engines is an area where we have, there are very few foreign OEMs. I mean, in the sense that even in the global market, there are only 2 or 3 major players, because this is an activity, this is a complex research and development which has to happen, which so far we have not been focusing. In fact, we did have that with Kaveri engine. There have been certain developments which was done by DTRE, but HAL also has adopted 2 or 3 programs, but we are in a very primitive stage. So the most important step is that first we will have to understand the technology which is required for that. That way, the collaboration with the GE for bringing in the technology within the country, and that too at 80% of the technology is going to under TOT. We will be doing the manufacturing here, will give us a lot of scope for understanding and absorbing the technology, which will be a basis and which will give us enough learnings so that in future we will be in a position to develop the engine on our own. So that way, the GE agreement which we are reached through, and which we will very shortly be entering into the manufacturing activity of GE, that will be a good breakthrough arrangement so that the technology will be absorbed. Apart from that, for the helicopters IMRH program, we have also tied up with Safran for joint development along with the HAL within the country for an aero engine which will be used in the helicopter program. So this again is the first of its kind, where we will be collaborating with the foreign OEM for joint development within the country, so that the licensing and other agreements, the IPRs will remain within the country.
So that means officially both GE and Safran, you have got OEM for both these companies.
Yes. So we have brought them over here so that we will start collaborating with them and producing the manufacturing as well as designing and developing engine for helicopters within the country. So this is a big breakthrough which will lay a solid foundation for the future development of engines, because if we can only master that engine technology in the in the years to come, then we will be a complete self-reliant as far as the Indian defense, aerospace and defense industry is concerned.
But this is a very hypothetical question, but on a question of how much time really it will take to materialize that with the GE and Safran, how much time will it take really to start in India?
No, with the Safran, we have already entered into a shareholders agreement. We will be registering a joint venture very shortly. So, and then the design and development activities will commence in the next 3 to 4 months time frame. It is as early as that. So all the requirements have all been done, and we will be starting the activities in the next 3 to 4 months. So as far as the IMRH program and the engine is concerned, we are on the right track and we are moving very fast to get it done. GE, we have also started very serious discussions with GE for the 414 engine, for which we have already entered into an MOU. Now there are processes of approval to be taken at the US level, which has also come. They have taken, as we understand, and we will also be now starting in a discussion. GE team also has come over here for a discussion, and similarly we will also be discussing and the various aspects of the working arrangement with the GE, and I think that should be in place in the next 6 months to 1 year time frame.
Okay. Actually, Anand, last week I had interviewed Chairman DRDO, Dr. Somanath, you know him, and I was asking him about why the Kaveri engine failed and what is the next step. So he was of the same opinion as you told. But is it not possible? What is the really bottlenecks or roadblocks, and why India failed to do so? Where the lacuna was there?
You see, engine program, engine development, engine program itself is a bit complex program, which has to be consistent and which has to be carried over a longer period of time, because many of the countries, the companies which are now engine manufacturers and which are lead engine manufacturers, 2 or 3 companies in the world, their engine, not that so there are so many companies which can manufacture engine. Today, even in the global market, there are only some 2-3 major companies which can manufacture the engine, and they have all come to this stage after some 50-60 years of continuous design and development. But today, this program has gained momentum in the last few years, and now if we continue in the same speed with which we have taken it up, I think in the next 10-year time frame we should also be in a position to compete with the global engine manufacturers, and our product also will be a global product.
Very correct. One is really very happy to see and waiting for that moment when India can make its own aero engine. So let's hope for the best, because after the success of ISRO, Chandrayaan 3, so these people of this country has become more faithful and dependent on DRDO and HAL, that this should also happen. That is why I asked you this question. So coming to next question, HAL has been a crucial player in the Make in India initiative. And how does the company plan to continue supporting the government's objectives for self-reliance in defense production and export also?
Yeah, today the focus is very, very clear. We wanted to have all our products indigenously designed and developed within the country. And more so, we have also started towards this initiative. The Prime Minister's vision of Atmanirbhar and becoming self-reliance can be achieved only if you start investing more and more on R&D. And that we have realized, and today our investment in R&D is been substantial. We invest on an average 6 to 7% of our total profit, revenue in towards your R&D activities, and this is going to be a big investment. And we have also created a separate fund for our R&D by earmarking 15% of our profit after tax every year towards your R&D activities. So funds, we are making it available, and focus is there on R&D. And earlier, one big change in HAL which we have brought in is, earlier we were waiting for the government approvals and sanctions, and many of the R&D programs will commence only after the sanctions and advance is received from the respective customers or from the government. Today we do not wait for that sanctions. Today we take clearance from the board and we initiate our R&D activities, not waiting for the sanctions, and that is with our own funding, so that the time is not lost for taking the program further when the sanction comes. And that is one reason why we are today in a position to see that many of our contracts we are able to deliver the products well in time, because we don't wait for the government to give the sanction. The classic example of this is the recent STT program, Hindustan Turbo Trainer 40, which has been fully funded and initiated by HAL, and towards the customer has already placed an order for 70 numbers, and it is in the final certification process, and we will start delivering the product. So like this, we wanted all the future products as well. Now we are targeting these new projects in the helicopter segment, that is at IMRH program, and then the other engine program of in-house engine program of HAL, and the HFLT, the trainer program, Hindustan trainer program, which we will also be funding and investing, the CATS program, which we are telling. So all these R&D activities also we have started funding, and we have started initiating the programs. So that is going to be one of the major initiatives from HAL side, to see that the self-realization goal, self-reliance goal is fully achieved.
Very good. So let's go to next sector. Since of India's defense requirements are diverse, including both conventional and asymmetrical threats. So how is HAL diversifying its product portfolio and capabilities to address these evolving challenges?
See, evolving challenges as far as, first of all, the platforms which we are manufacturing, we are fitting it with some of the more advanced technologies, so that they can take care of all the, to counter to the enemies, and then see that the objective of the armed forces, Indian armed forces, to secure the nation is fully achieved. Now, as far as the asymmetrical warfare is concerned, we started focusing on this UAVs, which we have told that we have initiated the two programs of on the rotary wing side, as well as on the fixed wing, which is a CATS program. And this is to an extent to take care of the future warfare which is required, warfare, symmetrical warfare, which talking, and the other things we will start looking into that. But as of now, our main focus is to see that the platform that is at aircraft and the related accessories are fitted with the more advanced, so that is more required to procure the security of the nation as of now.
Right. So coming to next thing, that the aerospace and defense industry is known for its long-term planning. What are some of the long-range goals and strategic objectives that HL has set for the next decade and beyond? So it's very important planning.
See, the first place, what is very important is that we need to deliver the aircrafts which has all been contracted. Many of the programs which we are running around now, which we are entering into contract, there are many programs on the rotary wing for which we will have to deliver the products in time and deliver the products of good quality and with more better technologies to the country. That is the focus we should see that is going to be the primary focus. Apart from that, we should also prepare ourselves for the next 10 years and beyond. And that is where we have also launched many of the programs, like on the combat helicopter programs, the LCH. We will be taking it with the more advanced system in the phase 2. LCH Prachan, we are talking about phase 2, which will also be taken up in the very shortly. So that will be empowering the helicopter program. And apart from that, the IMRH, the Indian medium role helicopter, that is again we will be taking it, which will also have to be completed in the next 6 to 7 year time frame. And on the fixed wing, already we are talking about LCA Mark II. Mark 1A is what we are presently producing. Mark II is another major program which will come up in the next 3 to 5 years time frame, and for which we need to start preparing ourselves and producing the manufacturing the aircraft in the next 10 years. That is another focus area which we are doing. And above all, the AMCA program, Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft program, which is at the design stage, and we are partnering with ADA for the preliminary designs which we are doing it, and we'll also be building the prototype. Of course, that is another major program which ADA is a lead design agency, and HAL is also been supporting them. So these are all the major programs as we could see. And besides, as what I have already indicated to you, is the CATS program, that Combat Air Teaming System. This again will take another 5 years to conceptualize and then to come out with the product which can be deployed or which can be tested at for the requirements. So these are all some of the major programs which will all be there for the next 20 years, 10 to 20 year time frame, and we will be fully actively involved into all of this.
Very true. So, as you counted, lots of plans and designs are there, HL is doing all that, but how HL is exploring to secure, because for doing everything you need money, and how HL is exploring to secure the necessary funding and resources for these ambitious future projects?
Yes, definitely we will. HAL, as you could see today, the fundamental financials are quite strong. Today we are a zero debt company, and we have got reserves and surplus of almost 24,000 crores. So we can always leverage with the borrowings from the banks and raising funds from the market. So if there is going to be, as of today, we are able to meet all the requirements from our internal resources. So when there is a requirement, when these programs comes through, apart from funding from the government, a portion of the funding will come from the customers. HAL also will be in a position to raise the resources on need basis from the market to fund major programs of this magnitude. So we will not be in a position, we don't anticipate any problem in raising of money for the various projects, ambitious projects, as what you have indicated, which will go uninterrupted, and there will not be any shortage of funds for these programs, which we have already been doing. Today we have got sanctions of almost 7,000 crores in-house. Without waiting for the funds from the customers, we are able to generate resources required for that to meet the expenditure as and when it arises. And in future, if there is going to be a need, we can go to the market and raise resources. HAL is a AAA rated company, so there will not be any issues relating to the funds.
Correct. Very good. Really, Anand, sir, my last question. every time defense minister increases his list that how private sector will participate in defense production, MSMEs, and there were lots of projects started in Uttar Pradesh in 5 places, as you know, in Lucknow or Kanpur or Chitrakoot, all those places. And but what we could see that the participation of private sector and MSMEs is not as long as that should be. It is not very good because it is not participating as it should. What may be the reasons, and will it take times to do that? Because it is lots of burden is on PSUs like on HL, and the planning is that it should be done by private sector MSMEs, and that's why lots of focus areas are there in Uttar Pradesh also. So, and as I told you that Rajnath Singh Saab has every time he increased the number of products that to be manufactured by private sector. What is the reality?
Yeah, see, the question is that so far, I mean, till the recent past, the private industry was not the MSMEs and they were not in a very big way involved in the aerospace and defense industry.
Correct.
But with the sort of positive indigenization lists which are coming up now, which means that many of these items are going to be prohibited from imports and we will have to manufacture it in-house. There is a compulsory necessity to see that it is being done in-house. Now, all the PSUs and the other major players in the aerospace and defense industry, bigger players, have realized that if we have to develop that sort of indigenization, if we have to do that sort of indigenization, the involvement of the local private industry is very, very crucial. Today, we are trying to engage the private industry, especially the MSMEs, in a big way. And if you would see that almost 22,000 of our items are being loaded into that Srijan portal so that the private industry can participate in a big way. And we are also encouraging, handholding the private industry to see that they come into because their apprehension today is that if they are going to develop the product, how long it will be sustainable, in the sense that whether after the program is over, whether we will continue to buy from them or not. So that is one confidence which we are trying to give them. Once we identify a private industry, that MSMEs and small scale sector into the defense industry, we will continue to engage with them in all the future projects as well. And so that the confidence level for them also will increase, so that whatever investments they make, it will be sustainable and they will be able to recover the money and still able to continue the business with the company. That is what we are trying to build.
Anantkishan Saab, till now, who are the major private players and how they are doing it? As you counted 22 products.
Yeah, you see, today we have got MSMEs who are empaneled with HAL in excess of 2,000. 2,000 plus MSMEs are already empaneled and they are all active MSMEs who do work for HAL. So we keep expanding this list. In fact, if you could see our LCA program also, as work structures, we have given the various work structures to 4 different companies, like the front fuselage, rear fuselage, wings, and then we are trying to engage them so that it will be outsourced to them. They will be able to manufacture and give it to HAL. So this is very much required, because as we keep growing, we cannot do everything for ourselves. We will have to distribute the job to the different industrial people, so that the flow will be smooth and we can become more of a system integrator to see that the capacity is increased and the supplies and deliveries are made in time. So with that objective, we are trying to develop.
But in MSME sector, private sectors are not participating that way as it should be. Why? Because till now the result has not come.
Yeah, but now it has started evolving. Now that the private MSMEs have started looking into the aerospace and defense as a more, it will be a revenue generator and it will be a profit generator. So far, they were not having that sort of confidence. But with more and more products coming into the positive indigenization list and more of self-reliance and indigenization happening, the private industry, the MSMEs have now realized there is a lot of business potential in the aerospace and defense industry within the country. And that is where, if you would see, many of the companies, private, smaller industries which have got listed in the market recently, their market capitalization also has been growing, because there is a overall feeling now that the aerospace and defense industry presents a big business potential for the Indian private industry. And that is why the Indian private industry will slowly now start investing in the aerospace and defense industry. And in the days to come, there will be a lot of investments and activities going on in the aerospace and defense industry by the private participation.
One hope so. One hope so. That would be a great thing. But who are the major big players in private sectors in India who are doing better? Who are the major? Who are doing better?
That now there are so many industries which are coming up, like L&T is there, Tata Advanced Systems is there, and then Data Patterns, which is now coming up in a very big way, and Mahindras are there. So there is a big industrial houses now started looking this aerospace and defense as a big opportunity. So I feel there is going to be a space for everyone, and the industry will keep growing and growing, because with sort of requirement which we have got, there is a place for everyone, and everyone will be able to sustain not only get into this industry but also be on a sustainable basis, be able to continue with that.
Even we have seen that Adani also has invested in planning to invest in a big way in defense production sector.
Yeah, that is where all the private industries now see there is a lot of opportunities in the aerospace and defense industry. Big names, big industrial houses. So that way, everyone will start investing, and if they see potential in that, why not? And the industry is so big that there could be scope for everyone to start investing and be there for longer periods.
Great. So I must give you a big thank to the chairman of Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Thank you, Anand Krishnan Saab, for finding so much of time for Uday India viewers. And I must say that it's a very good time for the defense production sector in India. Both the private sector and the government sector, they are all combined together and started both for the research and development, marketing, export of defense products. And that is why our Prime Minister very rightly said that India going to touch $5 million economy, and in that I hope HAL is also playing a big role under the leadership of Mr. Anand Krishnan, and I congratulate the whole team of HAL. Thank you for joining with Uday India, and stay tuned with Uday India. We will be updating you, and we will be interacting with different industrial leaders and PSU chairmen to know how India is marching ahead in defense production and how India's plan of Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliance India, is getting stronger and stronger. Thank you. Vande Mataram.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Jai Hind.
Thank you.